Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our city of Second City. You'll notice it's fall right now. It's because I downloaded that weather and time anarchy mod, but I had to re-record my intro. It got messed up in the very first time I recorded this. So once we actually get into the live gameplay, you're going to see that we're actually in spring, not in the fall. But before we jump into what we're working on today, I just wanted to show you a change I made here. This area of South Second, we finished in the last part, and I wanted it to feel like South Philadelphia-esque. And I just didn't feel like the European style buildings did that. So I used some of the base game North American style row homes just to kind of give this a bit more of a South Philadelphia feel. Of course, as I say that, they just released the Northeast pack, which I've not looked at yet. But I have a feeling that that's going to probably be exactly what I want in this area. So who knows? This whole section might change again now that we've got the Northeast pack. I'm excited to look and see what's in there. It's going to throw a little park right there on the corner. But this is starting to come together, and I also went through and just added in a new kind of commercial area. I moved our post office as well as the welfare office, and then threw in some Japanese buildings here in the back. And then where the post office used to be, I made that into a parking lot. I also switched out the elementary school, and I think that's most of what I did. So what are we getting into today? We are going to build out a new Cypress train station and get that all set up to also support a cargo line, as well as manage the traffic for our new train line coming from the central train station. We're going to build out a new neighborhood called the Narrows. And then we're also going to build out a new hospital. I think our city is finally in a place where a hospital is a must. So let's get started. So right now we have one train line going into our historic central station. But I sunk that other line, and now we can send a train all the way over here into Cypress. So we'll have trains on both sides of the city. Now in the future, I am going to move this highway, I think, further back, so there's more space around our central station. But for now, we're going to work with what we've got. So I want to see what kind of ground are we working with? I think this is all slope. It is all slope, and it's pretty significant. I know I want the train station around here. The question is, does it face Concord Street, or does it face this middle street that's going to come along and come underneath? I almost think it faces Middle Street. So let's do this. Let's extend Middle Street even further, turn on these contour lines. I mean, I'm fine with keeping it straight. It fits underneath there, no anarchy. Let's send it to here. I do wonder if we tap into this avenue and send this avenue over, instead of having this like extra bridge here that makes just a ton of intersections. I think we actually do that. Turn on our contour lines, and let's figure out how we can make this work. If I were to keep this at 0, there's as close to 0 as we're going to get. It does instantly have to become a bridge. That's not a problem. Then we send this straight across. Let's go ahead and remove basically this entire bridge. We don't need Glade Street anymore. And then we're going to connect this guy up into here. Now, how bad is this slope? Is it terrible? 6? Oh, it's not bad. All right, so now we have a new avenue that crosses over this bridge here, this road here, this river here. Can this still fit underneath, or am I just running into a pole? Oh, of course. I'm just running into a pole. We could offset this, which I don't think I hate. Go something like this, and we can connect this into here. Now, that hasn't actually connected us up to this avenue, but I think let's figure out the train first, and then we can go from there. So, under our trains, I'm thinking we can do the same train we've been doing elsewhere, which is this French train station. The question is, are we going to have enough room to slide these train lines underneath this section? I don't think we will off the bat, but if we do a bit of grading here, we should be fine. Let's grab this height. Make this brush a little bit bigger. And let's just go like this. Start clearing out this little section. It actually would work really nice because then we can send it over and underneath of this set of roads as well. Let's bring it all the way over to here. Now, do I place it right along here? I think I do. I don't think there's any reason to make this over-engineered. Place that right there. This does not have an upgrade to have access from the other side. Similar to like this historic train station, you can put an extra entrance on the back. But this will be just fine. We're going to figure out a way to make this work. Let's connect up, at a minimum, these train lines. So this guy here, we want you to go to there. I think we back this all the way up to there. And let's do complex curve. We curve to here. Actually, no, we curve to here. Then we curve to here. Turn on these contour lines. I wish I could, by default, have the contour lines on. That would be super helpful. We're going to do just a regular curve on this one. Send it straight on out. And connect it right up and in. Just like that. I mean, couldn't get better if I tried. Let's just right off the bat set up a new train line. We already have a yellow line. So why don't we make this like a fun blue color? And we're going to go from here all the way over here into this central train station. Look at all the people. Oh my gosh. Look at all these people. Hold on. We're going to have to address the homeless problem. Okay, let's wrap up this line. Put this back over here. Then if I click on this, we now have train line 2. We are going to call this the Cypress line. There are so many people lining up here. All these people, I'm sure, are homeless. No, you're wealthy. You just want to get out of the city. You're like, I'm moving. Homeless, 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 homeless. All right. This, we're probably going to need more buses. I do wish they were spread out a little bit. But let's go ahead and just make this 6 buses. We have 809 people waiting to get out. There are 3 people coming from Round Rock. But we got to deal with these 800 some people. Wow. Okay. I mean, I am excited that the train is going to be used. That's fantastic. No vehicles. There are currently no vehicles available. Consider building more depots. Okay. Well, that's something we got to build over here in Cyprus. I don't know if this is going to be super residential just because this water treatment plant does produce some air pollution. Oh, game, autosave. There we go. It's producing some air pollution, which is going to at least fill up to here. So all of this needs to be, somewhat utilitarian. Let's go ahead and build another bus depot. Bus depot, small bus station, local bus station. Let's just build a bus depot. I wish I could slide it in there, but that road is just not in the right spot. It wouldn't even have to go that far forward. Okay. Let's do this. We're gonna make this work. What if I placed a road here and removed this road? Does that fit? I mean, it literally fits nearly perfectly. So here's what's gonna happen. We're going to remove this piece of road, connect these 2 up. Let's go ahead and upgrade them so that they have a key wall on that side. Just allows this to be nice and flat. Okay. Now, we do have this pole in the way. I'm half tempted just to move the pole. And honestly, if I anarchy this road in here, the pole is almost on the sidewalk. So we are just going to use move it and slide that over. I think that looks much better. It does have a pretty decent slope right there, but we'll survive. So for now, we'll place the extra garage just in anticipation of needing it. Okay. We are going to need to smooth some of this though, because this is looking a little crazy. Now, this road can come straight on up, connect right into here. That's perfect. So now we're kind of giving this area some purpose. Then you say there's currently no vehicles available. Consider building more depots to gain access to a larger pool of vehicles. Now, I don't know if I believe that. Vehicles in use, 2 of 10. I think the problem here is that this isn't able to get to this line. Let's grab the train line. Let's go ahead and just start sending this downhill. We need to go to 11.5 so that it can go underground. But this water treatment plant's going to be in the way. So I think this needs to... Oh, it's a groundwater pumping station. Ooh, that makes it more challenging. Let's move this groundwater pumping station just over to here. It's not ideal, but it had to happen. That lets us get rid of that section of alleyway. Now, we can take a train line from here, basically just go straight on out. It's a little bit steeper than I wanted. I could bridge over, but I don't know if I want to do that. So I might break my 5% rule here, just so that I can get this to work in the way I'm hoping it will. Curve too tight. Yeah, I got to do it after that intersection. At this point, I know we can go underground. Right? Or no, we're not underground. If I just turn it into a tunnel from this point on, does that work? Can I just force it? What does that look like? Kind of looks perfect. This isn't going to be, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be decent. Because what we need to do is we need to be able to get access to this line here. So let's figure out how to do that. I need to get this to basically connect into that section, which means it needs to not only come up, but it needs to meet it. All right, I think we got to change this up again. Let's do it this way. Get rid of all of that. Let's start in the reverse. If we build one right here. Okay. We can't take it down before we get over this road. Which apparently we can't get over that road. At 10 doesn't work. Make this straight. Okay. Let's curve it. All right, so now we're connected up there. Now, this is where things get very challenging. Because I don't know how to do this. We got to get this basically underground, which means we would have to go to here, which is an 18% drop. I don't want it to be an 18% drop. Or we could just send another train over along the side. Or another thought, hold the phone. Another thought. Let's bring this train line back up to, actually, bring this to 0, but turn all this on. Let's connect up to here, then bring it up to 10. If I were to come off of here, like so, this is below 5%. I think we're gonna do it. I think this is the way. I moved that water station and destroyed that business for nothing. It's actually also, it's too high. It's above my below 5 rule. Okay, hold on. Let's do it this way. We're going to then slope this land a little bit nicer. Right? Now, I should be able to take a train over here. That's at 4.9, below the 5. This is also at 4.9. But if I back up this section, we could then just curve these two into one another. Oh, that was straight. Curve tool. You. To here. To here, 4.6. Because couldn't, in theory, this come down this way and then go forward this way? No vehicles. Why are no vehicles available? I'm not following. Okay, I think we need to switch this around then. Let's try this differently. Let's remove this new train line. I think also, I almost want to remove this station. We could potentially put the station further back to like here. right? We could then connect from here into here. It's not perfect, but it's something. Before I fix this, I'm going to straighten that out, but before we do, let's get this to connect correctly. So then we take a line from here. It comes all the way over here. It reaches just fine. And then it comes back again. There's the new line. But yes, the trains that come in here can't cross over to this train line. So that's why there's no vehicles. Okay, this is making some sense. But now we could take this train line and I guess do exactly what I just had. I also wonder if we remove this newly built road for the moment. Remove this road for the moment as well. We come back to those roads once we solve this. Those can be placed in post. If this were to go out straight, I mean, we want it to go up somewhat, but it's got to be below 5. So right there would be below 5. Then we turn off the straight slope. We then try to connect this up to here. How does that work? Does it work? That's 6. Okay, I think I'm trying to solve this the wrong way. I think the way we solve this is we come over here and right next to our current train line. Don't snap to existing stuff. I think we make a second train elevated. Turn on bridge. I do know this does work, so don't lie to me. There we go. Now, I know it's going to look ridiculous, but I think that this train curves and comes over. It looks okay. There is a little divot here, though, which I don't love. So let's just try to smooth that out a little bit. It looks okay. I wasn't anticipating having 2 train bridges there, but then again, we're working with the confines of the game. Like, this is what we got to do. Now, we should be able to clear all of this. It's going to ruin all the trains for a moment. Okay, so now it's all connected up. If I go fast forward, can you reach? You're right there. I mean, you're waiting. You're still saying no vehicle. Even though it could just go this way and then be over here. This is the most complicated train I've ever built. Because I want this to go over top of that. All right, one more take at this. One more. Back that up all the way. Take this train line, send it out straight. As straight as we can get it. 179 is fine with me if I can't get 180. So now there's the train line that we know we want to keep. That has to happen. That's a non-negotiable. Now what we want to do is get this train line to go over top. So we're going to go from here. We're going to immediately start going up. Right here is a 4.9, so we'll take it. And really, hold on. I mean, I'm upgrading useless stuff at the moment. Also, why did the 4.9 do that right at the very end? It's not ideal. It's going to look very strange. Let's just pause. Let's just pause. Let's zoom out. Let's think. Let's think. I now think I know what needs to happen. So we are going to make a number of adjustments. Let's get rid of basically all of this. I don't need any of this here for now. Get rid of this, and back this up to the tunnel. Get rid of the just move the train. We're just going to move the train. Don't get crazy. Just move the train. All right, so this train is going to be moved. Well, actually, just delete the train. Just delete it because I also want to move this road. Okay, so what's going to happen instead? Let's send this road a bit more straight across here. We'll do constant slope so it looks real nice. I'm going to send the train line, or the road this way. Then we are going to flatten out this back half of Cypress. Okay, so now this looks nice. Very nice. Perfect. I almost want to back this road up. We're going to flatten this out kind of all through here. Let's give me just a nice rectangle to work with. We can key wall the crap out of it later. Let's go from here to here. Get ourselves a little connection. Snap at the 180. And then snap at 180 right into there. Perfect. Behind here is our train station. This gorgeous $75,000 train station is going right there. Well, right there is probably too close. So we're moving it again. We're going to send this to here. I think we can make that work. Then we need to get a train line. Auto save. We need one that comes right underneath. Let's just snap to the 180 if at all possible. If not, let's get as close as we can. Right there. Done. Can I send this forward just a little bit? I want to send it forward enough that like this can cross over. That can happen right there. This is then going to turn. That's +7, so that's too much. This is really just to feed this train over here, but that's 4.8. I don't know if I've ever seen something like that. Okay. Another option here. We do this further back. So because we have this curve, we could take this, begin to drop it down and send it underneath and connect it in, which I think may look nicer as well. So the way we're going to accomplish that is by coming from here. Let's just break off wherever we can. We're going to use the complex tool. We're going to curve from here to here to here, but we're going to drop this down so that we can get underneath. -4.6. That works for me. Connect that right into there. Right here somewhere, add a little cross. So you can get from one side to the other. Then we need to get this reconnected. So to do that, I am thinking we take this train line, raise it up. I actually don't mind a +2. Okay. Come from here to here and come over to here and begin to drop it down. Okay. Then drop it down and get it to connect up to there. That's 12. That's too much. So we'll back this segment up. Then we'll take this piece here, just go straight. And can we get essentially... No, I'm already at that 6. That's not what I wanted to see. not what I wanted to see. All right, let's do back this further back up. I know that I have to be overcomplicating this. There's no way this is that difficult. Yeah, you know what? Figure out the road second. I don't know why I'm not doing that. I don't know why I've made this more challenging on myself than it needs to be. So now, grab this road. I do think I want to complex curve this, because what I want to do is I want to go from about here over to here, up into here. Then this can frankly just come forward and find a way to connect in. Like wherever you're willing to go, we support you in that journey. Turn all this off. I don't want it to be perfect. Like 177 works for me. Now turn on our snap lines or whatever they're called. Let's connect those together. There we go. So now that road goes underneath this section of the train track, which I think is fine. We then need to move this guy. Wow, this was a journey. Oh, we still need to connect the train. Whoopsie. Force this to be a tunnel. Now, speed it up. This train's like, I don't know what to do, but now there we go. So now the train is working. Oh my God, that took so freaking long. All right, so now we do have the train line connected. I am thinking I would like to see this be a slightly different. So let me just do that real quick. There we go. So now it just has one section of bridge versus two, which just felt like that was a little strange. So now it is reconnected. We've got a train coming in. We still have a way to go forward. This is not my favorite. However, after trying so many different options, I don't know if there is another solution. I really wanted to see this come forward from here and connect up. But I think I'm going to mess with that off camera some. I think actually what we'll do is once we get Warehouse Bend to have no pollution, which is going to take a little bit longer. I think we're going to have another season before we can actually work here again. But once this is solved, then I think what we can do is we can rework some of this, move these buildings around and have one bridge come across and over. Then we have another train line come over, and this can all kind of start connecting and becoming like a little bit of a rail yard. But I just don't think we're there yet, and I wanted to get this up and running. I feel like we just only have done this the whole time, and it's been an hour. So I do need to get a little bit of this terraforming kind of situated, because this is a mess. Let's just smooth out around this area. I think we can just give that a smooth, call it a day. Bob's your uncle. Send it right along to the back. That's fine. And it does in some way give us a bit clearer. Oh, I don't need this to be on 3x speed. A bit clearer of a place to work with. We're going to give this whole side a key wall. Bam, 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 bam. Perfect. It's actually pretty decent. We do want to still have this connection here. So I think we come back in here and we start building out this avenue. If I bring this up so that it's at 0, it's already at 12, which is kind of phenomenal. So send that to here. You need to go at least there to get over everything. I'm fine with that. Can we get it at the 180? Okay. Gonna come straight across. Then at this point we will curve and go in. So let's bring this down to here. It's actually a far better bridge, if you ask me. Far better. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna work on this train line a little bit off camera because I'm not happy with how it's sitting. But we've now got this bridge reintroduced. I then want to think about having a road come off this bridge, like right next to this other road, and we connect these two up somehow. Like, what if we just went to, you know, here, and then we curved this into here. It's an interesting way to get into this area. There's not going to be a ton over here, I don't think, so I'm not too concerned about it. We could also then place a road right along here. At least to here. Actually. Is this going to be terrible if we do a double intersection there? I don't think it is. There's not a lot to zone over here, if we're being like totally honest. I mean, there's very little room for anything. But let's do what we can. So we've got this little area now. That's great. This, I think what we could do is just take an alleyway and send an alleyway straight up and over. Give it a little roundabout on the far end. That's fine. That looks fine with me. We also have this area. I could see trees around this, but I also could see this area being zoned out. I think it's worth it. And if my eyes are deceiving me, I think this is at a certain height that we could bring over pretty far. Yeah. Yep, we're doing that. We're doing that. Smooth out the edge, make it look a little bit more nice. Make it palatable for the people. We could also upgrade this to have a retaining wall, which I don't think is bad at all. Actually, on both sides for a decent amount of that road. I think that looks pretty good because now we've got a much nicer area to work with. So then let's bring this road forward as well. Does it curve at any point? It technically does not have to, although it makes that massive intersection. All right, I do think it's going to curve. I think we're going to go from here to here. Here to here to here. If we're lucky, all those people are walking to the train. And they might be. And actually, I think this is all an alleyway. This is all an alleyway. It's going to then come kind of straight over to here. Right about there is where it's going to dead end. However, this can also connect to here. We'll put a little roundabout on that end just to call it quits. There we go. We got an entrance there. We've got 3 entrances here. Has a connection up to this highway. It's not the best connection, but it's a connection. So we'll see how that works. I am going to kind of limit a lot of these crosswalks. They just are terribly unnecessary. We'll put that one back for you to get that way. This one we're going to remove. And here you can just cross that way. We're just going to get rid of all that. No intersections over there. Here we're going to leave all of those. Here we're going to leave all of those. That's great. Now let's get this zoned out a bit. Now we do have some demand for industrial and for office. With the air pollution here and knowing I want to eventually upgrade Warehouse Bend, I kind of want to avoid doing any industry. I'm thinking this is going to be a little crazy for me, but I think we go in and we do our own plopping of buildings here. I think this could be very fun. So let's do some mixed use buildings. Let's just start kind of messing around with some of the options here. We have some of these kind of EE style homes, which aren't my favorite. I could see us, though, doing like, these are not bad. What is this? Just EU mixed level 1. Like, that's not terrible. Could look kind of nice. I also think before going any further, hold on. There's an opportunity here that we should take. Send this level, straight across. And send it all the way down to here. Just like so. Right there in front of the train station, there's a pedestrian connection, and you can then walk right on into the city from here. All right, let's get back to placing some buildings. So I think, I like this one too. Ooh, that one's actually perfect, except for its surface on the back. I think I can forgive myself for anarchying this into here. Now it doesn't have a great side here, so we're going to place this here, and we'll put something else on this side. I'm just thinking of these as like really modern apartments that popped up around the train station as this coastline has become more available for people to live near and use. Bunch of developers came in and they were like, we're going to build some awesome houses over here. Let's see what else we can make happen. I mean, this, again, a great building. It's facing this way, but I think the advertisements make sense because you're driving down this road and you see these huge ads. Then I think right along here would be a perfect place for a little pocket park. Now, pocket park, I will turn anarchy off because if it doesn't fit or if it's not meant to fit, I don't want to try to force it in here. We could do 2 of these back to back. And then maybe even come over here with like, do we have a little forfer? We do. This, I'm going to anarchy right here. Then we're going to use move it to just shuffle that over a little bit. Perfect. Let's give this a little bit of some trees. Nothing crazy. I honestly think like back there I might even not do trees. All along this, I think we're going to put trees. Then back here, I could see this being a great place to do some like low rent housing. We're going to need some parking to make that happen. But if we filter, it's not even a filter. I think we just type in low rent. Let's see what options. There's all kinds. I would love to do something like this. I like these. I like how long these are. And we can nearly perfectly fit 3 of them. So I think we put those right there. It's perfect. It's across the street from a crematorium. Actually, this whole area is surrounded by crematoriums. There's a crematorium here, and there's a crematorium over here. I did not realize there was 2 of them. Okay. Now we got to figure out this little corner, which I think I know exactly what we should use. We should, this is just business, get rid of low rent. We want to do, I think it's the EE businesses that I'm thinking of. Yes, yes. They're like little shops. Can sit along the edge there. We could even consider sliding another one in this direction if we wanted. Do we have just a small single guy? I don't think we do. I don't think we do. I mean, we might just leave it like that. We'll put a tree or something there. That's very adorable. We could do more of these. I mean, they would fit right along here. Why not? Let's put those. That's way too large. We also have these. Just make it like a little shopping street. All the way along this edge. That's going to be too big. That one we can slide in there, though. We can maybe slide a very small parking lot over here. I mean, even with anarchy off, this still fits, which is great. Allegedly, it overlaps everything. It does not. So I'm just going to ignore that. We're not going to do this last one, though. We'll have some parking right there. I could also see some parking behind this building. Could be very useful. We could take another alleyway, connect it right into here along the back of the buildings. Also, loving that this is becoming a used road. That's awesome. Then we could figure out how to do some parking here. I think if we get rid of this and we just send this road straight from here, we then kind of create an opportunity to get this parking to work. We'll bring this to here, connect that up and in, plop a little parking lot over here, maybe just a small one along Summit Lane. Again, in between parts, I'll detail. We'll put some trees around here. Might even do some of that today. This, I'm wondering if we just leave it road for now. I don't know what else I want to put there. I'm going to quickly put down some trees throughout, and then let's see what it looks like once it's had a little bit of decoration. Okay, just put some trees in throughout. Nothing too crazy. At the moment, it's looking pretty good. Now, we are having some backups here on the highway. This is a very small intersection. I did not realize that when I built it. But it's mainly people trying to come over and get into this area, and Coleridge Street is just the quickest way to do that at the moment. I think, though, that's looking really nice. All right, and we're starting to kind of move that density over some. It is a little bit different in terms of just like overall color and style, but I think with it being such a small little spot, that's totally fine. I do wish I could upgrade the side of this. I don't think I can do this. Let's see. Can I make... No. See, I can make here a key wall, and I can make here a key wall, but I can't really key wall along the edge of the train station. That would be awesome.
2 hours later.
Okay. After fighting with this game repeatedly and just struggling and struggling and struggling, I think I finally have landed on a train line that I'm happy with. So if we come down in here, we've got our train station neighbored by the detailing we've done across the street. And then I wanted that key wall behind the train station, but I wasn't able to make one because the train station itself, you can't upgrade this outer track. So instead, I added in a third track here that I was able to add a key wall onto, just giving it, I think, a really strong edge against the river. And the benefit of that is that this can now function as our cargo line. It's completely disconnected from the actual station lines, and then they diverge apart from each other. So we have one that goes down this way that you saw at the intro, and then we also have this new line that goes down this way. Now, I will be totally forthright here. This is not at my standard of a 5% grade change. This entire hill is downhill. I'm going to try to do a little bit more work on it, but if I were to go at 4%, it would ram right into the bridge, and then we would have this really, really high train line over here. So we're going to suspend disbelief with this section of the line. But what I imagine is that this line can then move out this way and go into wherever we end up with our cargo port. So that's going to be really valuable. It's going to go down to our cargo port and eventually go all the way up into our industrial sector, moving all of these goods down this direction. But that'll be for a future part. I also went over here, and as I was building this out, I realized that I didn't like having a crematorium and a few other random things in this little kind of pocket. So what I'm thinking is that we're going to turn this area of Cyprus into a new neighborhood called The Narrow. The Narrow is going to try to help blend this current downtown with this newer downtown that we're working on. And in my mind, how I'm imagining this is going to work is that this is going to be a relatively gridded place that's going to be kind of disjointed and broken apart. And it is going to be remnants of an old set of city streets that mirror this road here. That goes through Dickinson Narrows. And it's going to have all old houses on it, and it's going to kind of be a leftover segment of what was here before the highway was built and before all this other development came into play. I love seeing this train come out of this tunnel. 2 passengers. I will say, this gets a lot of passengers from here. I'm curious, 31 waiting. So all these passengers are going to hop on here, and most of them at the moment, this is kind of like a homeless line, because most of those people come all the way over here and then they line up to leave the city. We are at 147 passengers waiting, which is great because for a while there we were at over 1,000 passengers waiting. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. and it's getting the homeless out of the city that are choosing to leave because they can't find, a reliable place to live. So let's knock out the Narrows here. I'm very excited about this. I'm going to remove this section of Smith Street or Summit Street. I also need to get a new mouse. Totally unrelated, but it keeps unclicking when I click on things, so that's not great. We have this alleyway here, Concord Lane. What I want to do is I want to kind of mirror that throughout this whole area. I want to pretend like this road was severed at some point. So we're going to send this road back over here. I actually think we're going to send it in this way so that we can just connect up to this avenue here. So that's going to be that segment of road. I'm also going to send one that goes kind of straight on back and through. And then what I want is to have 2 tile back row houses along this alleyway. So we're going to have these 2 tiles here, these 2 here, which means our next road would go right in here. And that's totally fine. We'll have 2 and then 2. So our next road will go right in here. And then we'll do 2 and 2. And our last road will go right in here. But this one, we're also going to rotate down and send into this segment here. Let's turn off this button and this button. Yeah, and just kind of centralize that road there. Okay, so it looks a little strange, I know, but my thinking is that this is going to function as a brand new miniature neighborhood. This is an old neighborhood that was always here and it ended up getting destroyed for the highway to be built. And because of that, we preserved the neighborhood even with all of the other construction happening in this city. And it's just going to be a pretty simple build out. We're just going to grab the medium density houses 2 deep and just kind of plop them all along here. Let's see. See how I'm clicking and it's letting go? I don't know why that's happening, but I'm going to need a new mouse here soon. It's because I've got such big fingers. All right, let's keep doing this here. We can fill in this side now, and we can fill in that side. Now, we will have 1 or 2 maybe larger houses that zone in. But I think for the most part, this is going to look like a really cool kind of old area in the city. Here we are going to keep it 2, but we're only going to go to there because I want to preserve some space for trees that we can then slide in. But now we can also kind of emulate the same thing over here. Let's do 2 tiles all the way through this section. And I do want to just sneak in some pocket parks. I think any area like this would benefit from having some pocket parks throughout. And you know what? Let's also think about building on a pathway that maybe cuts through. So we're going to do a square pocket park, and then we're going to do an urban pocket park, maybe like right here in this open space. We'll do some smaller things over here. We'll do like this little guy, maybe right here in the center. And then over here, could we get away with one of these kind of larger ones? Oh, yeah, because I turned the zoning off. It's not going to let me stick this right there. So instead, I think we just stick with some of these guys. We'll place a little corner pocket park here. We'll place another one over here. And then we'll place another small one kind of down this way. Just to give these people a few little parks to enjoy. And now let's try to get in a small pathway. So, you know what? I moved it around. Hold on. Pathways are now under roads. I downloaded a mod that adds this here. I love it. I love it here. However, I'm really bad with remembering that that's where it now lives. All right, so I'm thinking I want to have this path come down this direction and go over here. And I want it to go along the side of this set of houses. We're going to send it right across here. Then at this point, let's go ahead and start raising this up. It doesn't need to go all the way to 10 per se, because we do want to start going downhill some. But I'm going to take this, I think, to here. Really, like, how far can we go? We can go down to here. That's perfect. Then we're going to turn this right into here. And we can even connect it up to this path that goes behind that building. A little bit of a wobble there. Maybe we can fix that somewhat easily. Let's see. If I go to straight tool here and just send it straight on out, that looks a little bit better. But now we've got a nice connection here that can send all these people over down to the bus station as well as our water treatment plant. But that I think is going to be the Narrows. I'll do trees in a separate part or maybe in a detailers episode, but we're going to have all these little houses here in the Narrow. It's not going to have many services, which sucks for the Narrow, but I don't think there's anything we can do there. I think it's just going to give us a nice blend from this very low density section into the more medium and high density areas of our city, which eventually we'll have to come back to and do some work on. Bit of a traffic jam up there. All right, so the last thing I want to focus on in today's episode is building out a new hospital. I'm thinking I want to use the modern hospital. I like the size of this hospital, and I think it could look really nice over here somewhere. And looking through this area, these sections here have parking roads through them, but I think the parking roads can go, and we can then kind of shuffle things around. There is a pub right here that we might end up moving as well. Could this fit kind of right in here? I think it could. So let's do this. I know there's no buses that use Coleridge Street. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of Coleridge. Oh, we're getting blocked by Anarchy there. We can remove all these tiny houses. Get rid of those guys. Get rid of the path. I think that's just going to end up being in our way, just like Anarchy. And let's also move this tiny little pub and restaurant. I think what we'll do is we'll just scoot it over here, so it's in this section. And we'll upgrade all of these, and maybe we'll upgrade these to the southwest ones. Why not? Let's upgrade that section. Instead of single family homes, let's turn it into some row homes. Now, in here, all of these houses have got to go. This is our new hospital complex. I know all these people are sad about it. You can see all the people who are like, wait a minute, I was just kicked out of my house, and now I have nowhere to live. They're all homeless. So sorry, guys. This is what happens. Cities have to expand. The only thing I'm noticing is the Lake Street or Lake Lane is just a very small lane. And it might be better for that to be on a road. We could easily make that happen here. This, I think, is free to move. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plop that over there for now. Let's see if we can upgrade at least this road, and this section of road. When we come over here, we can get this section, but then we run into our police station. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this pathway. We'll scoot this police station just over one. Continue to upgrade this road. This would remove those French houses, but I do think, again, that might be necessary. Just because this is going to now have ambulances driving down this road and a number of other vehicles. I think that's a little bit better. It needs some tree work, but now we have Rosewood Street, which is a bit larger. I think meets the needs that we have in this city. All right, let's move this pub right over here. Sorry you guys keep building that house and I keep deleting it. In some ways, I'm imagining this pub is like the pub in Grey's Anatomy, where it's like really close to the hospital and they spend their time there on nights and weekends. Good for them. Let's go ahead and slide this guy in here. We have to do it with Anarchy because that train track is acting funky, but we do know this fits. And now we have the Longview Modern Hospital, and the game just crashed again. So let me jump back in and redo all that work for us really quickly. Now, what I would like to do here, I've got two expansions or two upgrades. A medical center, which specializes treatment, helps citizens in the hospital service area remain healthier. It does increase our patient capacity by 60. And there's also an extension tower, which increases the patient capacity by 450. Does this tack onto the back? It does. Okay, so let's do this. Let's place the extension tower on here because I want this to have the tower. I want this to be huge and just this massive building that overlooks everything. I am starting to think we may want to consider an additional parking structure over here just to support this hospital. If we look, we've built out these guys a lot, these multi-level parking buildings. We've not done an overground parking building. So I'm thinking we could maybe even continue commandeering some of these low density buildings in service of a larger complex here. So why don't we go ahead? Let's move this police station over here. And we could upgrade it with a helipad. Why not? Let's put a helipad on there. It's going to be really upsetting for everyone who lives in this area. That's okay. But I think we take over this section and we turn this into our new parking facility for this area. Let's de-zone all the zoning we're seeing here. And let's just start getting rid of these homes. I realize that we're really kicking out a lot of people to make this happen, but I think this is a worthwhile expansion for this section of the city. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to look. Now, let's add in this much larger overground parking building. It actually fits perfectly in here. And I'm going to place it, I think I'm going to place it on Lafayette Street. I think that's the preferred location. But this is now kind of our hospital complex over in this section, right across from a train station, easily accessible. Now, I also want to build out this medical center. And I'm thinking what I want to do here is we're having some clipping with that little building there. With that road there again. Oh, I just turned it off. Turn it back on. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Anarchy again. I got to change that hotkey. And then we can place this, I'm thinking right here along the side. So now we've got a little bit of a complex going on. What I want to do first, let's change this to like our normal. Can we just do default? There we go. Default, weather, default. Great. Just get some better sunlight over in this section of the city. Let's try to make this look a little bit nicer. I think what we could consider is let's expand these sections of pavement so that they line up perfectly with the neighboring pavement. I don't think we need to interact too much here with the police station. At least I think. We'll make this into a much larger kind of like sidewalk complex there with 2 areas of grass. I think that looks nice. We'll also do the same thing here by just bringing this up to the road level. Now, right now there's a key wall along this road, which I actually am going to remove just so that people can easily walk into our medical center, at least in theory. I don't know if, in game they will, but we can pretend that they're going to. Let's remove the key wall along that section. Beautiful. I'm even going to remove it along here and just let that be that grass texture. Then I think we will autosave. We love to see an autosave. Keep autosaving game. Don't stop. You're doing great. I think I'm going to grab both of these segments there and bring that out. It is a much louder area now that we have a medical center. So all these neighboring houses, I think we're just going to do this now. Because all of this is basically being transformed, I think we need to come in here and just force some new medium density development in here. And before anything builds, I'm going to completely remove this zoning that's already here. The reason being, if we let it zone in on its own, some of these buildings are going to become very, very small. And I don't want to see small buildings over in this area. I want them to be quite large. I think we could even limit zoning along High Street and along this section of Rosewood so that this entire area is now going to be facing Rosewood Street. Also Rosewood Street. Just name this not Rosewood Street. All right, so now we've got new zoning here. We're getting some of these smaller Southwest buildings. They're fine. They're not exactly the vibe for this area, so they might not last very long. We can go ahead and unpause, let some larger buildings get in here, just helping densify this area even further. And now let's keep going with our surfaces. So I'm thinking this surface will come straight on out and connect over to the police station. I want to get that little piece without getting anything else. There we go. So why don't we expand this surface really all the way along this edge and just send it straight on up at the 90, connect it into here. We've got this central pathway as well. think that's pretty good. I'm going to have to just kind of fix this along this road. Now, with that, we can do a little bit of detailing. It's not going to be anything too dramatic or crazy, but I do want to have just a bit of detailing throughout this area. Make it feel like it's a part of a hospital complex. So we're going to turn on, not random, we're going to have fence mode turned on. And I want to increase the spacing here pretty significantly, I think. Though it doesn't... This is the fence mode I want. There we go. So now this will ensure we have pieces on the beginning and the ends. No spacing variation. We just want general spacing. And let's bring this down maybe to 8. I like 8. Place these along here. Place similar ones over here. Now there's tons of homeless people trying to go to the train so they can get out of here. That's to be expected. We did just destroy a large number of houses. We'll place these guys here and remove this little central one that we don't need. And then I think along the back, we might just do some trees in here and make this look a little bit more natural. Huge fan of this new complex. Now, I also think I want to consider upgrading this road. So I think what we would do is we would turn anarchy on. To get people away from here, we would turn on just like so. Do a 2-lane road here coming right on out. That allows people to get in front of the train and then leave again. This is going to be a very packed train station because so many people were kicked out of their homes. I'm so sorry, guys. Let's remove these tiny guys. Perfect. And then around here, I'm just going to extend the surface, but we're going to leave this relatively empty of trees or other kind of foliage. I think this could just be a large kind of open grass area. So now we've redeveloped those 2 blocks. It does leave a lot of openness, which I kind of like. And once these new buildings come in, I think it's going to be surrounded and feel like it's a part of this area, which I'm really happy with. And I don't think I have any edits to that. That looks fantastic. Let's just call this Longview Medical. And currently it's serving 6 people, which is great. With Longview Medical, it does mean we can get rid of the King Street Small Medical Center. This has, for way too long, been completely overrun with people and just not able to meet the demands of a much larger community that we have now. In its place, I think we could consider... We're getting a little bit further away from the densest part of the city, but I do think we are in need of one just big office tower. Give me a large office building and really start pushing that skyline further south. I think that's going to look awesome there. It's not too far from this large parking structure, which already has 21 people. What does this here do? It offers car washing services. I think it's unnecessary. We don't need that. Now, right here at this unit, because it's next to a hospital, I'm going to say this is going to be a very expensive lot. It's going to be like $35 to park in this lot, mainly because we want to limit it to people who need access to the parking lot because of the hospital. All right, with that, I think our medical is really in a good spot. Actually, before we even look, just because we're having all this craziness, let's go ahead and save, and let's also save to the backup. We have dropped about 300 people from our previous peak. But if we look here, we've got pretty decent coverage all throughout these areas, as well as in our industrial sector. We now have a medical center here, as well as a hospital, a small medical center over here, a medical center down here, one over here, and one up in this neighborhood. Now, with the hospital here, I think we can go ahead and also remove this much smaller medical center. I don't think it's as valuable there because we have great coverage with this building over here. And I think the rest of them will keep in place for now. If we get another check here at our healthcare, we have got average health 65% with 161 patients. We have space for 2,000 sick or injured residents, and we have 274 who are sick. That's great. How is our new office complex going? We have a new high density office, the law and accounting, and they're doing pretty good. Balance isn't great, but they are 100% profitable. So they'll make that money back as they start to expand. But I think that's where we're going to leave this part here. We have 14 people currently in our hospital, which is looking great. The Narrows is underway and is starting to kind of shape up pretty nicely. And then I'm really in love with our brand new train station right here. The parking usage is really astronomically high, so we might go ahead and just upgrade that parking lot. But this is looking nice. We have 16 passengers waiting, and if we jump over to the train, it currently has... how many people on it? 12. How many people are waiting here? 2,000. So unfortunately, because I deleted all those homes, all those people took the train or walked all the way over here and are now trying to get out of the city. But I think we're already getting back up closer to that 76,300 we had. So we'll be able to solve that problem in the future. All right, guys, I think that's where we're going to end this part here. A quick shout out to my channel members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the link in the description below to unlock custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, save game files, members only content, merchandise discounts, and more. And until next time, leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.